Welcome to Lumen Musings, drive time discussion as I cover questions that I commonly have as we talk about planting a church by establishing a missional community in a distant town that's part of our church that becomes its own independent church. One of the questions that comes up from that also then is, how do you vet a potential leader that we would find? So here's the thoughts as we have them, and they may change. We are right now advertising what we're doing, and we are trying to meet people through natural networking and through some advertising that might be really cherishing the same heroes that we have, guys like John Piper and MacArthur and Begg and Nine Marks and Gospel Coalition and Spurgeon and all those folks. So we're trying to connect over those names, and we want to shake their hand. We're going to find three types of people. We're going to find some people who never want to talk to us again. That's totally fine. They might just be curious. They might be angry that we're doing it. I don't know. We'll meet those. Number two, we're going to meet some people who are probably really interested in the Sunday morning service, particularly. And they're not going to want to be part of really a foundational team. Or maybe they would want, but they're maybe not going to be leader potential level people. So we need some solid leaders. This is all about high quality. So we need to find some people that really the Lord has taught ahead of time and been preparing through the teaching elsewhere to join us. So when we meet those people, level two, I schedule a second conversation, a more in-depth conversation to really lay out before them more fully our plan and see if they have interest in that. If that conversation goes well for them and for us, we would then invite them into a season of consideration. They're going to need to get to know us. They need to understand really our heart and our theology more, really detailed, read through our statement of faith and our theological positions, understand our philosophy, meet our leadership. They need to actually not only know our message, but actually our tone of our church. So it'll be a process of probably 6 weeks, 4, 6, 8 weeks of them coming to Columbus a couple times, because they need to have skin in this game, and they need to share the vision of wanting to see a solid church growing out there, and therefore invest in it. So they would come into us, and we would go out there. There'll be a process of application, background check, references, those kind of things. It's going to be kind of intense, but all of it is with no obligations of us towards them and them towards us. And we need to be really clear in all parties, like, we need to not go forward with this if it's not a really good fit, and through prayer that we don't really feel affirmed that we should go forward. So it's a slower process. It's not very efficient, but we really need solid people. When we get a few of those people, once a person says, I'm in, and we believe that they're in, we would then change their status to really they'd be a leader in training. At that point in time, we would have them become a member of our church. They would undergo a number of MC leader trainings. They'd be meeting up with some of our pastors. They'd be still coming in town. We'd be going out there. So there's a process of training them up so that they would be looped into the leadership schedule of Cross City Church, and that we could be investing in them rather aggressively. At that point in time, they get into kind of a queue, and as we get probably about 4 or 5 or 6 of those people, men and women in that queue, is probably then when we would turn whatever we have, any type of fellowship night out in Zanesville, we would turn it then into really a missional community, change the fellowship night into a vision time, and invite people into the missional community where that would be an active part of Cross City Church, led by a group of leaders who would be members of Cross City at that point, functioning as an extended group of Cross City. So that's the pathway of how we think we're going to vet and place leaders. And then those leaders simply sit under the shepherding of our elders, as our elders split up all of our leaders as we always do. So they would just fit into the normal pathway of us pursuing them and loving them and knowing them. So that is the plan right now as far as how we would vet and set up our leaders.